Hey YouTube, how you guys doing? My name is Kyle, you know me as Dragonmar, and welcome to a new video. If you guys don't know who I am, I'm a Valorant content creator slash coach who solo queued to Radiant with Omen back in episode 1, act 3, and now I want to help you guys do the same. Today we have a gold Sova VOD review, and we're going to be talking a lot about making an impact in your games and how you can make an impact when you're not playing the role of a duelist. So there's gonna be a lot of good stuff in this video. Hope you guys enjoy, and remember, if you do, hit that subscribe button. A lot of you guys watching are still not subscribed, and let's get into the VOD review here. So starting things out, round 1 on pistol, full utility. Teammate goes down, is gonna grab a ghost from it. That's good. Nothing wrong so far. And like I said, guys, a lot of what I want to talk about here is how to have impact in your game. So Sova is a support, right? And while he is, I believe, an initiator, he does, in my opinion, play a little bit more passive than maybe a breach or now even a fade would, right? So he's definitely a very passive agent. And I think what happens is a lot of people struggle to find value in their gameplay, and I think it's because they're playing a little too passive. Now in this round, there's just a bit too much chaos happening, right? So as we go back here, we're gonna see everyone's taking aim duels, right here. After that wall goes up, we actually just want to be planting the spike and playing with our sage safe, but because we just keep getting swung everywhere, in my opinion, what happened here, no communication, right? There just wasn't communication. There was too much chaos in this round. Not good so far. We'll go 2 stars there. All right, so when I talk about impact, what exactly am I talking about, you might think? Well, impact is more than just kills, right? I've already have a video on impact frags, and I talk about how to get them and whatnot, but there's more to having an impact in the game than just what the scoreboard shows and just how many kills you have. Good utility usage and good communication slash teamwork, excuse me, are the 2 things that I think are far more valuable in a lot of cases. When you're not playing a duelist, right, you want to be supporting those players. You want to be supporting your entries. You want to be supporting the people who have the kits that enable them to get these kills and to have those impact and to get the first bloods, right? So finding value with your abilities is really the name of the game. So when I hear a Sova tell me that, hey, I need to get more value, that tells me that your utility usage is poor, and that tells me that you're not finding the value with the abilities you have in your kit, and you're most likely using them incorrectly or not using them enough, or you're not communicating those abilities. Now in this round, we do see that drone go out. That's a good drone here, but unfortunately everyone's going to decide to run through garage, and that was kind of weird because you just kind of get into this choke point right here. This is a huge choke point, and if you're the attackers pushing through there, I don't love that. It was a good drone. Someone should have followed it, right? Someone should have followed that drone. So 2 stars there. Just play off your drone. You used a 400 credit ability. Get some value from that. Have someone follow that drone. And as we move into round 3, I'm gonna be going on to the gun round. So as you guys know, gun round, super important to win this as the attackers. If you guys, or excuse me, as the team that lost the first 2, you do not want to give up a bonus. So what do you do in these type of rounds? Well, you probably guessed it. You've just got to play a little bit safer. You want to be taking longer range fights because you're going to have better weapons at range, unless the enemy team is using a Marshall and they have some dude who's just hitting headshots. You want to play at range, right? It's super simple. But like, for example, if you had to choose between C or A on this map, don't go A, right? Especially don't go sewer. You're gonna run into shotguns, you're gonna run into SMGs. You kind of want to try to avoid that. Now, going C long, that's good. Garage, a little bit more scary, but with the right utility, you can kind of make anything work. You just kind of want to play your cards right here, and I think that the best case scenario really is going C. Gonna be able to get that quick plant down. Not too much happening here for our Sova. Everyone did a good job on that round. Only 1 death. We'll go 3 stars there, and we'll keep it moving. All right, so Sova specifically now. You guys probably don't know this yet, but on my alt account, I've actually been playing a lot of Sova. I have like an 80+% win rate with him currently. Not a ton of games, but enough. And so I'm actually starting to pick up on some really nice Sova tricks, right? And I think one of the most important things that I've learned is that whenever you're going to use a recon or use a drone, you just call it out. You just, hey, shooting a recon here, or I'm gonna drone for you or something, right? Communication really is the name of the game when it comes to playing a support. I think that where a lot of people go wrong is they kind of expect your teammates to know what's gonna happen when you use those abilities. So for example, you might have a teammate who's in a good position, you might drone for them, but they might not make a play off of it. They might not be on the same page as you, right? And just by explaining to them, hey, I'm gonna drone for you, play off this drone, sometimes that's all it takes, right? I know it's little, right? And I know I talk about that a lot, but man, communication is so important in your games. And even if no one else is being vocal, you can still talk, right? Please don't think just because no one else is talking, you can't. Trust me, some of them are listening. Will they listen all the time? Who knows? But they are listening. All right. In this round, you're playing 3v4 with sight control. This drone, I think, was a little early. You kind of want to hang on to that drone a bit longer, just to try to get a little more value. Now, looks like you're going to jumping off a site. You essentially are telling your Sage that she is going to die, so that wasn't a good play. You left your Sage behind. If you guys are all playing site, you need to all play site together, and then you go down and cubby. So you can't leave your teammate there. That was the big thing. You used the drone too early, but you can't just run away from your teammate. You know, essentially what you did is you said, okay, instead of a 3v4, instead of a 2v4, I'm gonna make this a 1v1v4, and that's not gonna work. You have to be able to support your teammate there. 1 star in that round. And here we are moving into round 5. We're gonna be on rifles, it looks like, for the majority of the team. Yeah, it looks like we're all on rifles here. So we've got a little bit of a lineup, it looks like, for garage. Oh, that's dirty. Yep. That's an annoying dart for sure. Now right here, I'd be really worried about a flank. And looks like, look at that. You're on it, actually. That's really smart. That's really good game sense, especially for being in gold. That's excellent game sense to really kind of expect that. Now, the other problem, obviously, was someone pushing mid steps. I'm not really sure what utility you had to stop that, but good drone here, honestly. That's going to get a lot of info. The question is, what happens now after this raise ult? And everyone dies is the answer. And also, you had the spike and you died. So I think part of the problem here, as you guys will notice, the entire team went through garage. Some or multiple people have to go long. You can't just send 5 garage. It's not going to work, especially when the enemy team has ults. Brim has an ult now. Race had an ult. Can't be doing that. That's really bad team play. That's 2 stars there. All right, so far in this VOD, no kills, right? We're on round 6. Not the end of the world, but remember, this is about impact. How can we have impact in these rounds? Well, you guys know I talk about it a lot, but staying alive, right? Playing your life, valuing your life in these rounds. Now, we have seen him stay alive. I don't think he's getting picked early, so that's actually a big positive. The problem is anything else happening while he's alive? And the answer so far is not really. Man, this Brim has some nice utility usage right there, actually. And I think part of the problem is that he's kind of putting himself into some rough positions, right? In the last round, he just swung out mid through a smoke and died. The round before that, he's droning on site early, then running away from his teammates, dies, right? And so far, there's definitely some positioning problems that we're seeing. We're also maybe seeing not enough communication. I can't always tell if there's comms sometimes that your mic will not pick up in the VOD. So potentially, I'm gonna guess there's no comms though. Right here, gonna actually get a little bit of value from his utility. Oh yeah, I don't know why you'd shock that. Don't waste a shock on that situation. I don't think you were better off jumping on that box and trying to spray down that sky, get some more value from that round. Not looking too great so far. Ooh, I'll just go 2 stars in that round. That wasn't terrible, but yeah, there's no reason to waste a shock dart there. All right, another thing with initiators that I think is really, really useful to do is to kind of like, not necessarily be the strat caller or anything or a shock caller, but like, let your team know where you want to use abilities, right? Like, for example, in this round, you're darting into C. You're going to spot a raise, but what's going to happen off of that information, right? What was the play there? What is happening with you and your teammates? I see a Sage coming to grab the spike. I see a Reyna in mid. Then I see your 2 other teammates pushing up A long together. And you're across the map darting, right? Why not dart the site you're going to attack? You know what I mean? Now, sure, your dart's going to come back up in about 12 seconds, but at the same time, why not ensure that, you know, you can get some real value from it? Because right there, yeah, you spotted a raise, but like, there was nothing else happening, right? Yeah, you maybe spooked him a little bit. Maybe you made him get out of position at the very least, but aside from that, like, there really is not much happening. You know what I mean? And that's part of the problem is that's where you're using an ability, but there's no value, right? You get a little bit of info, but that's not enough value. You're way better off using that for a site take. Now, in this round, you're fully playing for post plant, and you're fully playing for the spike defuse because you have your ultimate. I don't think that's a terrible thing, but right now, because it's a 3v1, I would get out of this position immediately and I'd go help your teammates. I don't think there's really, unless they both die rapidly, I would be looking for a way to trade them instead, just simply because you want to keep that ult if you can. Like, you don't want to be sitting there in a 3v1 and then somehow you accidentally use your ult. You're much better off looking for a trade there. It's a little bit more risky in my opinion, but it's way worth it. Those are risks you have to take. You have to be like, okay, this is a 3v1. Let's trust that we trade this guy out. Let me not waste my utility. Let me not waste my ultimate. that round was okay, but because of that utility usage and the fact that you just stayed there and kind of did nothing post-plant, I'm gonna go 2 stars, although I think that's more of my sort of judgment, not necessarily you making a bad mistake. Round number 8, starting off and looking for a recon. Now, the big problem here is imagine if someone walks up on you, right? That would be bad. But no one's done that so far, at least. Now, they were ready for that one. And this is what happens, guys. When you use those same darts, like that Raze is probably looking behind him, just waiting for it. You know what I mean? But the bigger thing is, look what's happening around the map, right? Where are you to support these guys going into B? You know, you still have a drone. I cannot tell you guys enough how good that drone is. Now that I've really been using it myself, I see how good it is. Like, it's insane. You know, you literally get like another player, you get all this vision, and you get to tag someone at the end. I mean, it's perfect, right? And now think about it. Imagine you had gone in, you were at B right here in the cubby, you use your drone as your teammates go in, you get tons of info for them, you might help them live, right? Now you do get some info there. You're gonna go for a recon, and that everything's looking good. Good recon as well. Now maybe you had some info that he was coming A link, but that was good utility usage, and I think that's your best round so far. I think the only problem I have is you feel a little out of position in the beginning of these rounds. You're not really with your teammates where the attack is happening. That could be a communication thing, but I'll go 4 stars there. I actually like that round. Next round starting off pretty much the same way we've seen these last 2. Looks like we're gonna go for a different dart here though. Let's see where it lands. It's gonna land in that back left corner behind Plat. Gonna be spotting out 1 player behind sight box here. All right, again, take a look. Where are the teammates at? We've got 3 teammates, top A. Sage kind of playing alt mid. Reyna's kind of pressuring window a bit. So you've got good pressure throughout the map. Excuse me. It kind of looks like you guys have been maybe defaulting in a lot of these rounds, playing it slow. But the thing with Haven, right, is that while playing it slow is good, it only works if the enemy team is aggressive. And I haven't seen anything yet that says to me that this enemy team is aggressive. Remember, playing a default works. Playing a default does not work when the enemy team doesn't move, okay? You end up just wasting time and abilities. Now, in this round, again, look what's happening. You're not with the push. Why? Why are you not with them? That's my question for you. You want to have impact? You're asking, why am I not having impact in my games? My friends, if you find yourself in positions like this, where you're constantly running in after your team has died, when you're not any part of these fights, now that I don't like that play at all. I don't know why you turned this corner with an arrow out. I mean, I guess because his last location was kind of in that elbow area and he wasn't necessarily close to Link. But yeah, that was I don't know. Maybe I'm just being very nitpicky there. That was probably fine. But I think the bigger problem is that why is your teammate peeking? Guys, it doesn't matter if it's you or your teammates, right? You guys got to play together. I think that here, though, you have plenty of utility. No, okay. All right, you backed off of it quick enough, which I think is good. He's still shooting, so you know he's on it. There's no reason to peek that until he taps it. Yeah, there's no reason. So in the end, that was pretty good. I think that, you know, calm with your teammate, be like, hey, I got your cross here. I'm going to hold behind you. You know, stay alive. Just stay alive. That's one of the most common comms that I make. I literally am just telling people, stay alive, because I can play off of you even if you are not doing anything. You don't have to take these fights. Play the 1v2. Play the 2v1, I mean. Trade your kills. Decent round for you again. Good job at the end there, not really forcing anything, but kind of some risky peaks that I didn't like. So I'm gonna go 3 stars, kind of the negative balanced out the positive. Okay, round 10. So the scoreline's 4-5 right now. This has been kind of a low kill game, I'd say, for a Sova. You know, and again, I think part of the thing is you're definitely playing very passive, right? This kind of, in a lot of ways, I think this will remind a lot of us of Hiko on 100 Thieves in some ways, right? Not all of them. I'm not gonna say you're baiting, but what I will say is that Hiko always finds himself as last alive when he was playing professionally. Rest in peace. But in your case, you're finding yourself last alive a lot as well. And the main reason, though, I think, is you're just not really in position. And you're kind of behind the fights by a bit too much. And you're not really using your abilities to support your teammates to get it. So if your real question is not why am I not having impact, but why am I not getting kills, it's your positioning that's the problem. In this round, really not much going on. We're just gonna go 3 stars. All right, here we go. Moving into round 11. Tie scoreline here, so things are actually looking a little bit better now. Hopefully we can turn this game around, get some more kills in the second half. But like I said, kills aren't everything. Your ability usage matters a lot as well. In this round, you're going to be using a dart to get some info in garage. Not sure if that Viper wall kind of messed that up or what impact that has in there, but I'm not going to find anything. A lot of your teammates going down early. Reyna pushing up B alone. It's going to be a good time for you to go support And I don't know if you had good game sense or if that was just a timing thing, but you definitely want to be watching Garage for him there. So that was really smart because super easy to flank, right? The Garage flank for mid players is super tough when you don't have a player watching it. So that guy probably assumed as you were somewhere else, but you were smart. You went back into window. Now, at the same time, you were probably also expecting an A flank. And that's exactly what we saw. We did see the A flank, and now another player looks like had also flanked its Brim and your spawn. And this is the problem with Haven, is when you go down in numbers and the enemy team knows where you are, the flanks happen. In this round, we have to go 2 stars. Final round of the first half, and we actually have the spike with us while we're going to be using our abilities. So this is kind of exciting for me. We haven't really seen this yet, so this is good. You also have your ultimate still, so that's not good. Oh yeah, that's not good. Oh man, that's around. That's, oh, you should not be going in right now with spike. You should have given spike to somebody else. No, 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 no. I mean, if your teammates have cleared all of sight, it's fine. Oh man. Yeah, it's going to work out in the end, but the reason I'm saying you should give spike is you have 40 health and you have an ult. Your ult is so much more important than you planting a spike, and also, you know, could help your teammates get ult as well. I don't know how close they are, but regardless, you probably want to give that to your Viper in that situation. Just let your Viper plant, because like I said, you have ultimate. You could sit back here and get ready, but now, because your team has also all died, not going to matter too much. We'll see if you can clutch this one up, though. And that's all they have to do, right? If you're a Sova with ult, they're going to push you long and they're going to go kill you. So realistically, you probably had to run to ult mid and try to ult from there. There just wasn't enough time. Your team has died too fast on sight. Not a good round for you or your team, but I'm just going to go 2 stars there for not giving spike. And maybe on that post plant, better communication with your team. Tell them you have an ult available, because if they didn't realize that you were just playing for ult, again, this is like another round where you left your teammate earlier, right? They could have expected you to stay on site. You got to be making sure you're working with your team there, okay? So 2 stars in that round. And guys, moving into the second half. Okay, so what did we see in the first half from the Sova? What did you guys think about his impact? In my opinion, if I had to rate the impact he had with 1 through 5 stars, I'd probably go 1 star. I would say there wasn't really much impact. Now, does that mean he played horribly? Not really. But did that mean that he made a lot of mistakes and was making a lot of errors in his play? Absolutely, right? There was a lot of mistakes, a lot of errors, and in my opinion, a lot of it's coming down to positioning based around his teammates. Like right here, for example, what are you doing? Sorry, why are you going for these lineups when your teammates are dying on sight? Okay, it's super important to understand when to do these lineups. You don't need to be doing that lineup when your teammates are fighting for a site. Like, you need to find a different way to use those abilities, right? And maybe you just run on site like I do, because I don't know lineups with Sova. I just shoot the darts at people. I get kills, I do damage, and I'm at a much higher elo. Trust me, lineups are not everything, but you cannot just be constantly away from your team, in some ways baiting them, right? This isn't good play. That's a 1-star round. All right, moving into the second round. So again, when we look back at the theme of this video on impact, and right there, we think about how he impacted that round. Well, he was a body that was full health, that could have supported his teammates on site, and the only value he had there was a shock dart lineup with nobody there, right? So, you know, yeah, he gets the kill in the end, but the site had already been taken. Even if he kills someone with shocks, it doesn't matter. In this round, you know, what are you going to do? A guy has a freaking Vandal second round. Of course he does. Gonna kill you on site there, do some damage, which is okay, but yeah, not too much happening here. We'll just go 3 stars in that round. Let's keep it moving though. All right, guys, so like I said, impact. And an important thing to remember with any agent that has lineups, this goes for Brim, this goes for Viper, and definitely goes for Sova, is you need to make sure you are doing the lineups at the right time, okay? If your teammates are all playing on a site and you are off site and they don't even realize that, that's a bad time. You need to make sure your team at least knows that you are playing for lineups, okay? After that, fine. They can choose how they want to play the game. They have agency over themselves. But a lot of the times when a teammate knows that you're going for lineups, they will play differently. They will play differently. They will value their life. They'll try to stay alive and stall time. Remember that round earlier where you had that ult? Imagine if they would have played time a bit longer, maybe stalled that down to like 10-ish seconds, and then you ulted. Would have been perfect, right? but it all comes down to timing. Make sure you're doing things at the right time. In this round, you're going to find that kill onto the Jet. Not really sure why she just ran through there jumping like that, but we'll go 3 stars in that round. Let's keep going here. Round 16 starting. So going down 6-9 right now. And obviously Haven definitely a bit attacker favored, so this is not good. Going for the drone here, I do like this, right? Because you don't know where the enemy team is. Now you have to run though. Yeah, you had to move from that. You know Sky is short, so you got to make sure you call that out. And unfortunately, really good utility usage and really good follow-up from the enemy team there. And they're looking to win, looks like an eco or a light buy here. So that is not good. But you had a good drone. The problem is that Raze is just nading you every time you drone. Yeah, bad team play there. Not going to blame you entirely. But, oh man, I have to go 3 stars. Because, again, I don't really think that was your fault. I think that was just good play by the enemy team. And maybe some of your teammates might have fallen off a bit too hard there, or they weren't just in the correct position. So yeah, guys, whenever you see like an A take that like that, you know, a lot of times what happens is you have a player, one player staying on site and the other player falls off site, and the player on site just gets clobbered, right? And that's what happens a lot. Like right here, we see 2 players. You need to be out of your drone. I mean, you know, you don't need to stay in that drone that long. That's not valuable. If there's 2 players sewer, they're going to be pushing A, right? You don't need to stay in drone that long. Way too long there. Instead, you want to be either helping sewer or kind of checking long and see if you can grab a kill really quick before they get into sight. While you do get a kill there, I really didn't like that play. I'm gonna go 2 stars. Looks like you were trying to get like max duration out of your drone. So again, right now, I think one of the things we're seeing is that, you know, you're getting some value in terms of your abilities, but then your positioning is just bad. Like you're just dying 1 for 1 or not even getting a kill and dying. I think the big thing here for you is finding a way to use these abilities, but to also make sure you're not dying right away. Make sure you're not in a position where you're just instantly going to be in a gunfight and then you die. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like you're using your abilities too close to the enemy team, right? And this is the problem that Fades are going to have, because Fade has a very limited range on her abilities, but Sova does not. So you really can be playing further back in safer spots. And right here, we're going to see a nice lineup onto site and a good follow-up kill. Unfortunately, you're going to get instantly traded out, but good value on this round. Good kills overall, and you didn't bait anybody. You used your abilities quickly. You got in there to support your teammates. 4 stars in that round. Unfortunately, you're going to lose that round anyways, but a good effort by you nonetheless on the match point. Now, what was the difference there, you might be asking, right? Because it kind of looks similar to some of the other rounds. The difference is that you just used the shock darts early. You didn't wait. You didn't try to time anything like too perfectly. You just used them. You know, got in a position, used them. You weren't sitting there waiting. You weren't staring at the sky for forever. Use them. You instantly ran into follow up with your team. And that's exactly what we want to see from our Sovas. You know, one of the worst things that you can do when you're trying to have impact with initiators is look for the perfect moment. Everything needs to be perfect. I need this to line up for me to use this. No, just use stuff. Use stuff and get in there and help. Don't underestimate the value of being able to hit headshots, okay? I know abilities are fun, especially when we're playing Initiator, but trust me, hitting some shots, really good too. Right here, a little risky on that aim there, gets you down to 5 health, but you do get the kill. You are going to keep this game going. We'll go 4 stars there. You just rotated over, got the kill. All right, so moving into round number 20. Gonna go for, looks like recon into alt mid there. Ooh, good info. So we know 1 long, 2 alt mid. That gives us info. These guys are definitely focusing C. Now, this drone, in my opinion, unneeded. Unneeded because you didn't spot anyone mid initially, mid, like window or something. And on top of that, you can maybe jump peek a corner or something. You don't have to drone that, right? No one was really in a good spot to trade or get a kill if someone else was mid. If someone was mid, you were going to have to fight them, right? And again, this is the thing with Sova drone, is it's really good, but it's really, really good when it's used to support teammates and when you're not playing off of it yourself. Now in this round, bro, you're just going to walk up and tell this brim to go over to the respawn. I mean, gee whiz. You had to flick pretty hard here. Hold on, let me watch this back. You're staring into the wall. Yeah, you're staring into the wall. Don't do that. Make sure your crosshair placement is against at least the edge. Now, don't stare into the wall like that, because you force yourself to flick. And the longer the flick, generally the worse your aim is going to be. So just a small little piece of advice there, I would say. That's more of a crosshair placement thing. And generally when people do that, it's because they're ready to swing a corner, right? They want to swing the corner, they want to get the kill, and they're going to pre-aim, but you pre-aim too far in the wall, someone swings you, and generally you end up dying. That brim obviously just got killed very fast. Okay, and now we're looking into a 1-1-1 split here. Obviously, Haven having 3 sites. You know, the 1-1-1 split is interesting. I would prefer maybe to leave like B open, and it looks like Raze is backed off, which is good. Sage is in a bad spot though, in my opinion. I would not be playing Logs as Sage. I think she should be playing more CT. That way the Raze can support the garage push, and then they can just retake together. I'm a big fan of just playing retake. In this round though, what I'll say is that Raze should have done everything he could to... Okay, good. He stays alive, but he should have just stopped that plant. I actually do not know why Raze did not stop that plant. That's a call that I would have made. I would have said, Raze, push that guy. Because with like 5 seconds left, the guy was planting. Just have your Raze push him. Either he's going to kill him instantly after he plants, or he's going to die, but he's going to stop the plant. So, you know, weird play there by your Raze, but you do good in this round. You did an aggressive push, which was nice, and then you were there to support your teammate. Thankfully, your teammate stayed alive. It forces that Raze to swing you. You get the kill there. Good job in that round. 4 stars. Okay, round 21 here. Still a chance to bring this one back, honestly. 8-12 here, but, ooh, Reyna gonna go down early to a Jet with a Bucky, and now it begins. So you've got ult here. So this could be a round where you tell your teammates to play for ult. Play for post plant. Let me ult this. Oh, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. And, oh, yeah. See, look at you. See how you backed off, right? Something tells me you're not telling them this. Because when you back off, right, you're leaving your Sage there. You want to go with the Sage. Oh, no. You just got to take your time here. I mean... Oh, yeah. That's not a good one. And I don't think the Sage is going to win this, is she? Spoiler alert, boys. But, yeah, this is where the game ends. On a bad spray by you. Unfortunate. Alright, let's go over what we saw in this VOD. And guys, jumping into the VOD review summary, I think there were a few things that I want to point out. I'm going to keep this short and sweet. When it comes to getting impact generally is dictated by your ability usage and your positioning and your teamwork, right? Those are the big things that show how you impact a game outside of just getting kills. In this game, I think the biggest problem I saw is that your abilities never really had follow-up, and you were out of position a lot. And to me, this is a few things. It could be you're just lacking the game sense and understanding of where to play, or you know what you want to do, but you're not communicating it well with your teammates, right? So I think there has to be something here, right? And on top of that, there could also be a slight problem with your map awareness, right? On attack, we often saw you sitting C long while your teammates were doing just about anything else but being there. And if you are going to keep playing Sova, you really do want to be looking for ways to be able to support your team with your abilities, right? How many times did I see you drone into a site for your teammates to support them? Maybe like once or twice, and you got like naded out of one of them. That's not good enough, right? That's not good enough. That should be the primary objective pretty much in almost every round as a Sova on attack. And we didn't see that from you. We saw you running away to go look for lineups, looking for post-plant ability usage, leaving your teammates on site. We saw you out of position when your teammates were entering site, dying. You'd always get there late. You're always one of the last ones alive. In my opinion, you don't necessarily have a problem with baiting, but you absolutely have a problem with being in the wrong spots constantly. And that's a positioning problem, that's a map awareness problem, that's a game sense problem, but make sure it's not a communication problem. Because if you're just not talking to your team and explaining what you're doing, that's entirely on you, okay? And that's something you're going to want to fix. Aside from that, I think your aim was okay, definitely shaky at times. Like I said, make sure you're not staring into walls when you peek corners. That's about the biggest thing that I saw. Everything else looks fine for gold. And I'd say that moving forward, if you can focus on the things I just talked about, you're looking to be a lot better. The big thing for you though, communicate with those duelists and support them when they entry. That alone is going to force you into the right spots, right? And that, my friend, is where we'll end this VOD review. Thanks so much for submitting it. I hope you guys learned something new, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy and peace.